Are you looking for a side marker light camera so you can see what's going on beside you while you're running down the highway? Well, I'm about to install the Haloview CA112 side marker light cameras on our fifth wheel. That's what I'm fixing to show you. Hey y'all, I'm Cole and this is Younger Every Day. So basically we bought a fifth wheel, sold most of our stuff in Texas, packed up the kids and the dog and headed out. Now we're RVing full time and we're loving this crazy life. On this channel we take you on amazing adventures. We share tips and tricks for RV living, we do product reviews, and we share install videos kind of like this one. So if you're new here, click subscribe to join the Younger gang and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss out on any of the fun. If you haven't seen some of our other videos, you can click it right up here to get caught up. Today I'm going to be installing Haloview's CA112 side marker light cameras that go along with Haloview's Range Dominator or RD7 vehicle observation system. If you'd like to see the unboxing or the install of the vehicle observation camera in the back or my review video, you can click it right up here to check out that playlist. Let's go ahead and get these installed. Haloview sent these out to us along with the backup camera. I installed that one first and now I'm putting the side marker light cameras on. Just wanted to share with you how to do that. Now the first question you've got to ask yourself if you're installing a side marker light camera is, where on your rig are you going to put it? In our case, I kind of wanted to put it further down the rig in the middle towards the wheel wells where I have a marker light. However, that marker light is mounted just on sheet metal. And honestly, just the little light marker light is already kind of loose. And I don't really want to put this camera, which weighs probably 1.5 pounds, I don't know, a pound maybe. I don't really want to put that there and risk it getting loose and falling off. Since I didn't think that was a secure location, I decided that if I went right into the fiberglass up here, it ought to work just fine. The first thing I need to do is take down our reflective amber side marker light cover so I can access the screws, loosen those up, take it off, then I'll wire this one in and then affix it there. It should be pretty easy actually. I'm gonna use my flathead screwdriver just to get in here and access the little piece where you can kind of pry this off. Take a look. Okay, I'm just gonna get this in here, wiggle it a little bit, snap it right off. That came off super easily. Now I'm going to remove the 2 screws that are holding this old marker light in place. They're pretty easy to get out here. This is my handy ratcheting screwdriver. I will say I tried a couple different ones and I thought this one was pretty great. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out if you need one. It stores all of your necessary heads in the handle, making it super convenient and compact. That one came out. Oh, it's sheared off. That's not good. You can see the difference in the sheared off screw and the full screw. I can feel the rest of that sheared off screw on the other side, so it's still in there. I don't know if that means it rusted and broke in half or what. Boy, that's a short little cable. I have to cut it really close to this light to get it off. I'm gonna try to cut kind of midway on this cable so that if I want to reuse these marker lights or I need them someday, I'll still be able to splice back into them. But the new marker light wires are plenty long, so I've got some room to work there. I'm gonna cut these now. There we go. All right, and this one. Check this out, they even sent some splice connectors. That's pretty cool. And then I've also, of course, got some mounting screws, which is good since I have one that broke in half. I still can't figure that one out. From our other installation videos, I remember that our green wire is always hot on the rig, so both the backup camera that I originally put in that I got when we started, as well as the Haloview have a green wire as the hot. So I'm going to trust that and install it accordingly. This may be interesting because I need to strip this little short wire. Oh wow, I don't have much space there at all. Oh, I should have seen that. So this yellow is actually spliced into my hot green, and then my ground is white coming out here. Now on the marker light camera itself, you'll notice there are 4 wires. So I have a hot wire for the camera, a hot wire for the light, and then a ground for the camera and a ground for the light. And the nice thing is they are marked for you. I'm gonna try the connectors they sent me and see how well they work. Looks like that one is nice and tight. Let's get the ground. This is gonna be the tough one. It took a little bit of work, but we got it spliced in, so I'm gonna push the wires in very gingerly, and then I'm gonna work on installing this new part to our old holes. I'm probably gonna have to do new holes, we'll see. Next up, I'll have to remove this cover, and then I can access the holes and get this set up to put my screws in. So as you can see, this does not line up with my old holes, so I'm gonna have to do some new ones right here. They're self-tapping screws though, so I'm just gonna run them right in. I'm gonna eyeball the level on this. I think I can get pretty close to level with the underside of our trailer here. And I'm gonna run in these screws. Now the instruction manual does suggest using some kind of glue, I think it calls it glass cement, in the screw holes to prevent water damage. I will say it doesn't look like to me the factory installed marker lights had any kind of stuff, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. If it becomes a concern, I can add that later. There we go. One down. I got 3 more in there. There is a metal lining just inside the fiberglass, so I'm having to go through that. I was working on this last night and we got interrupted. It got dark on us, so we just had to stop. While I was doing it, I recognized that although these screws are made to, break through the metal, I decided I needed to use a drill bit and just do a couple of pilot holes, because I really only got through with 2 of them. And the drill battery was dying, so I needed to recharge that. So just needed to start fresh in the daylight. What I'm going to do now is use my drill bit to go ahead and punch through the sheet metal that my screw didn't make it through the other night on this hole. Then I'm going to affix this with the 3 screw holes that went through and use the hole on the marker light as my guide to do one final pilot hole for the last screw. That one went through pretty easily, so now I'll go ahead and affix these. I think I'll use my ratcheting screwdriver so I don't risk stripping it out. The fact that I decided to drill this out is also why I got my safety glasses out. Having that hole already punched through makes this a lot easier. Everything's nice and snug, so I'm going to snap the marker light cover back on and move to the other side. Similar to what I did on the other side, the first step is going to be to take the lens off the marker light. Then it'll give me access to the screws so I can unscrew them and pull that out and then cut the wiring. Ooh, that one came off easily. Oh, look at that. That's a different kind of screw than they used on the other ones. The other side had 2 of these. If you're watching closely, you might notice that the screw I removed and the screws I'm using to install the new marker light are slightly different in length. However, there are 4 of these for the new one and only 2 of these on the old one, so I think we'll be okay on the strength of the fastener. One lesson I learned from the other side is I need to cut these wires as close to this marker light as possible so I have plenty of wiring to work with as I attach the new one. It already feels like I have more wiring here than I had on the other side, which is good. This is what I expected when I cut those wires on the other side, but I didn't have this much to work with. Before I attach this, I think I'll go ahead and take the lens off because it's a little easier to do it in my hand. I'm gonna start with the ground and get these twisted together. Then I'll use the connector that came with the camera. Clamp it down. Whoop, if I can keep it from coming off. Oh yeah, that's secure. Now we'll get the hot twisted together. Again, use the connector and crimp it into place. So much easier when you have enough wire to work with. And get this positioned in place. I really just want to make sure that I can't see any of this stuff underneath it because I'm not planning on cleaning that off before I put it on. Now I'm going to secure the first 2 screws in place using those holes, and then I'll line these up and drill them. Now I can line up my next 2 pilot holes. I'm going to connect it up to the truck and start it just to power up the lights. I could use a 15 amp fuse to light the lights up, but I know that my battery sometimes is a little weak, so I'm going to go ahead and use the truck. We're hooked up to the truck. Now I'm going to have Connor turn the headlights on so we can see if we've got power to our new lights. Turn it on, Connor. All right, we've got lights. Just wanted to let you see that it is nice and bright at night. Now let's go check the monitor and see if we've got a camera feed as well. All right, I'm going to turn our monitor on and see if these are already synced up. So we've got cam 1. Over to pairing, which is this one here in case you can't see it. It's hard to see on the camera without an image behind. We're gonna click OK. Now I'm gonna go hit the pairing button. Go to the menu and I will mirror this camera upside down, and there we go. This is the camera on the driver's side of the tow vehicle opposite the door on our 5th wheel, the left-hand side. I think I'm going to want something like 412 or 413. Or this one down here, quad H, which will show me front, back, and side cameras. Also, I put cam 1 in the top, so I'm going to change cam 1 to cam 3 now, since that's what's showing in this section. Cam 1 is here, cam 2 is here, Cam 4 is down here. Okay, we're on Cam 3, which is my left-hand side camera, or driver's side of my tow vehicle, or ODS for other than door side on the camper. Going to the mirror setting, and I want to flip it so that when I look in this monitor, it's like looking in a mirror as to what's behind me if I'm looking in my driver's side mirror. Same process, we'll go into menu, go over here to mirror. This is on the door side or my right-hand side of my tow vehicle. Same thing, I want to flip it upside down, and now I've got a nice picture looking down the right-hand side of my camper. Let's look at Q mode over here, right there. I think I'd like to try 4, 2, 3. So I guess I need Cam 3 to be my right-hand side and Cam 2 to be my left-hand side. You can use this button over here to go back rather than clicking all the way across, and you can jump to the back of the menu. There we go. Now, if we look at the mode, I should have everything right where I want it. See behind us, see down my driver's side, and I can see down the passenger side. If I had realized how hard it was going to be to push the buttons, I think I might have synced the cameras up before mounting them to the rig. Certainly that would have meant that I would have had to have someone come in here and hit the monitor while I stood there holding the camera, especially with the button on the passenger side camera. It was really hard to hit. It's between the camera and the rig, and so getting my finger in there and pushing that button was pretty tough. Obviously we can see down each side of the camper, but not all the way because our slides are out. When we move, I'll pull those slides in and I'll show you what that looks like in my review, which you can click right up here to see. So that is how I installed our Haloview CA112 side marker light cameras. As you saw, it is pretty simple. You only need a couple of tools and a little bit of wiring know-how. Other than that, going through the menus, pretty easy. I'm not gonna say it was intuitive because I wasn't sure which camera should be 1 and 3 because I didn't know how all the different layouts were. But as you can see, I did figure it out pretty simply. One thing I'll mention is you've got to push the sync button on the sides of these marker light cameras pretty hard. In fact, I had to hit it with my fingernail to make sure that it clicks. So if you don't hear a click, you did not sync it. Now I want to know, do you have side marker light cameras on your rig, or would you like them? If so, let's talk about it below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure and give me a big thumbs up and let me know you liked it. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join the younger gang so you can join our awesome community. Also, I hope you'll check out some of our other videos right over there. So, installing a pretty sweet setup of side marker light cameras and sharing it with you, that's just another way we're living younger every day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.